Hi everybody. We will be having today a session on water technology. Hello everybody. Welcome to the session on water technology. In this session, we will try to understand the requirement for treatment to the water, then what are the different components of domestic water purifiers are there. This is how a domestic water purifier appears. It has got certain number of candles as shown and a storage tank. This is UV tube or UV chamber which is used precisely for killing the pathogens from the water. There are two more operations followed in order to make the water potable. One is ultrafiltration and the second is reverse osmosis. In reverse osmosis, a semi-permeable membrane that allows water molecules to pass through and resist the entry of salt molecules to the another side of membrane. Here, the external pressure is applied in order to reverse the direction of flow of water, that is from high concentration to the low concentration. So ultimately to the another side of semi-permeable membrane, in reverse osmosis, we get the water free from any kind of salt. The another figure is cross section of a filter that is used for ultrafiltration. Here in this slide you can see a layered filter mesh actually it is using, and it is referred as membrane for filtration. As layer-wise arrangement is there, this membrane or mesh becomes strong enough to resist the dissolved salt particles to enter through it. This is how a spiral wound element design can be described. I have taken these diagrams from the commercially available material. One is from Dow Chemical Company and the other one is from a company which is USA based. Coming back to the spiral wound element design, from the one end of chamber the field solution enters, and to the another end it leaves the chamber along with concentrate in two different outlets or separate outlets. The components which are the part of the spiral wound element design are perforated product tube, which allows the passage of water in and out along with the different suspended as well as dissolved particles. Then blue line shows how the permeate flow takes place from layer by layer, and the rejected flow continue without entering the filter section. Then the permeate carrier material, then semi-permeable membrane are layer-wise placed over each other. That is, permeate carrier material is sandwiched between the two layers of semi-permeable membrane, and a larger size mesh is used to maintain the feed water flow. To the other side, vertical column you can see, which has got various minerals placed chamber wise. The very first chamber from where the water enters is of tourmaline. Tourmaline basically helps in maintaining pH and act as antibacterial, followed by the OPR balls. These are the ORP balls. These are actually the resin materials having some replaceable components present over there. They also adjust pH and increase the mineral content of water. Then magnetic field is maintained in order to restructure water into small clusters, and the water enters the magnesium chamber. The magnesium dissolves in water. Magnesium content of water increases. Again, restructuring of the water into small clusters is done with the help of our infrared. And the next chamber adds calcium. Remember, whenever calcium and magnesium are added to the water, the pH becomes alkaline. So the minerals present along with calcium and magnesium are essential for human body. Then next chamber is of alkaline ceramic balls, which again adjust the pH further, and recently it has been understood by a Japanese researcher that alkaline water or alkaline pH of water which we are drinking resist a number of the diseases to good number of diseases that may infect the human very badly. So that way, alkalinity or alkaline water is a hot topic being considered nowadays. So that's all for today. And in our next section, we would be studying zeolite process, which will help us how the hardness causing calcium, magnesium, light, heavy metal cations can be removed from water. Thank you.